Since 1999, there have been hundreds of LEGO Star Wars sets released, along with many Star Wars movies and TV shows. Each movie and show has gotten a variety of sets over the years, so today I'm going to be picking the best LEGO set from every Star Wars movie and TV show. So starting in order, there is the most recent kids animated TV show, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures. The show got two 4+ sets, and the one I picked was the Tennu Jedi Temple. This set is pretty special as it's the first Jedi Temple that LEGO has ever made, or at least a representation of one. So it's definitely really cool to see. As far as 4+ set goes, I feel like the build and what's included in this set is definitely one of the better ones. I really do like the Jedi Temple build having, a small interior that you can play around with some pretty good minifigures. No one probably thought that this is the set that would be the first any representation of a Jedi Temple that we would get from LEGO Star Wars, but I do think this set does a good job at encapsulating what a Jedi Temple is like. Up next is Star Wars Episode 1, A Phantom Menace, and for this movie, of course I had to choose the MTT. This is an excellent set that comes with a lot to play with. I really love the amount of droids that you get, plus a droideka as a nice addition, and there's so many play features, and the actual build is perfect in my opinion. I think this is the best MTT that LEGO has released, and the size is very good as well. Even to this day, the MTT remains as a great LEGO Star Wars set. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, had a really good lineup of sets that released. The one I chose is the 2013 Republic gunship. This gunship is really good. I really love the interior space, so you can fit a bunch of clones in there. And the gunship just looks amazing. I really love the design and the detail. The minifigure selection is very good as well. I would have loved maybe one more clone trooper just to fill out the gunship, but the minifigures look very good. The printing is great. I love the inclusion of a small speeder bike that you can fit in the gunship. I think that's what the most recent Coruscant Guard gunship lacked, was the accessories that you can play around with and, use with the gunship. Overall, this is just an amazing LEGO Star Wars set and for sure takes the best spot for Attack of the Clones. Up next is Star Wars The Clone Wars TV series. For this one I chose the Ultimate Collector Series Venator. The Venator is such an awesome ship, being the flagship of the Republic, so getting it in LEGO was just so awesome to see, especially in the Ultimate Collector Series scale. There is a lot of detail, and I really love the overall design of the Venator. The engines look phenomenal. And I really like how good it looks from every angle that you look at it. Even on the underside, obviously you're not going to be seeing all that, but at least LEGO replicated the red patterns that are on top and, incorporated a small bit of detail. For such a fan favorite ship and LEGO fans wanting the Venator for a long time, I think LEGO did a really great job with this Venator. Next up is Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. For this one I chose the 2005 Clone Turbo Tank. This turbo tank looks very good. I'm a big fan of all the accessories that come in this set that add to the play experience, like the speeder bike or the small turret that you can have the clones use and fight a very small droid force. There is a bit of interior space within the turbo tank that you can fit some clone troopers. There's many play features on top of the turbo tank itself, like a couple of turrets that you can fire at the droids, or a small watch post that you can put a clone trooper on to scout the area. Everything that comes in the set plus the turbo tank build, I feel like this is just a phenomenal set. The Bad Batch is next up as it starts during Order 66. The 3 seasons of the show only saw 2 LEGO Star Wars sets released. Of the 2 sets, the one I chose is the Bad Batch Attack Shuttle. The name of this ship is the Marauder, and I think this is a really good depiction of it. In the show, the Marauder is definitely a darker bluish gray, leaning more on the gray, and I think the blue on this set is just too heavy. I think there's too much blue. Should have mixed in a little bit more gray with bluish accents. What I really like about this set is the minifigure lineup, coming with every single Bad Batch member, so I'm glad that LEGO didn't leave any out for other sets. The Crosshair minifigure is technically his Imperial form, so I would have loved his Bad Batch to complete the look. The set doesn't have the most spacious interior, but I do like that it's big enough to at least fit every Bad Batch member minus Crosshair. The set does come with a couple of side builds with 2 speeder bikes that you can put Bad Batch members on and you can create some sort of chase. Overall, I think this is a solid set and a good depiction of the Marauder. Moving on is Solo, a Star Wars story. The Millennium Falcon is such an iconic ship in Star Wars, so seeing what it looked like in the past was just so cool to see, and how clean it was. I really like the white color scheme with the blue accents. This is pretty much the same Lego Falcon as any other one, except with, of course, the different color scheme and the missing escape pod at the front. I always like the full interiors of the Lego Millennium Falcons, and I think this one does a very great job. There's a lot to play with, and it feels like there's a lot included. The minifigure lineup is good, coming with 6 minifigures to fill out this interior with. There weren't that many sets that released for this movie. I think it was around 8 sets, and this one is definitely the one that stood out to me, as it is the Millennium Falcon in this cool color scheme. Next is the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show, which just had 1 season of 6 episodes and had 2 Lego Star Wars sets released. The Inquisitor's Scythe is the set that I chose for the best set for the Kenobi show. I just really love the design of this build. I like all the techniques used to get the angles at the front of the ship, and it also has a really spacious interior that you can fit all the Inquisitors in with plenty of room to spare. The minifigure lineup is very good as well, with every single one being exclusive to this set. It is a very accurate ship in both the functions of, the wings folding up and down when it's in flight or landing, and just the overall design of the ship. I'm just a very big fan of it, and coming in at the price point of $100, this definitely is really good with the ship that you get and a full interior, so you can have a lot of play with it. Next up is Star Wars Rebels. The set that I chose for this show is the Imperial Assault Carrier. Now, I know there was the Ghost set, but it not including the Phantom, not including the full Ghost crew, and the very minimal interior space with that set. The Imperial Assault Carrier comes with a lot of stuff. I really like the 4 miniature ties that you can attach to the bottom of the set, just like on screen. The build comes with some good minifigures too, especially the Agent Callus and Sabine, which look great. There is some interior space where you can play around with the Imperial minifigs with, and it does have some space for every single one. The ship does look good and pretty accurate to the on-screen appearance, and I really do like how you can attach the 4 ties, as it's kind of its main function. I really just like what's included in this set, coming with a bunch of minifigures that you can play around with, but you also have the 4 ties that you can play around with too, so it's kind of 2 different playing experiences. And overall, I think this makes a good solid set. Up next is Andor, which only has 1 released set, and that is the Ambush on Ferrix. I like the 2 builds in the set. The ship and speeder bike both look good. The minifigure selection is not bad. I would have loved maybe 1 or 2 more corpos or the law enforcement figures to fill out this ship of theirs. 1 or 2 more corpo minifigures definitely would have helped to fill out the interior, rather than you'd have to buy multiple of these just to get more minifigures like that. And this set wasn't definitely the cheapest with what you get. It did retail at $70. Despite all that, I think both builds are well designed and do look good. Andor definitely deserves more Lego sets. I think there is a U-Wing releasing in May of 2025, but I could not choose it as it isn't officially released. But this set does come with a lot of play, and you can create a pretty cool chase scene. Andor then leads straight into Rogue One. Rogue One had a really good line of sets. I really liked the Rebels and Imperial sets that came with, so you could really create battles with all of them. The one that I chose is Krennic's shuttle. Krennic's shuttle looks amazing. I really love when it's in its flying position, the size of the model. I mean, the wings are very long. There is an interior space where you can fit all the Imperial minifigures in. There's a couple of seats for the Death Troopers and Krennic to sit. The minifigure lineup is pretty solid, coming with 2 Death Troopers, which is cool to get, K2SO, and of course Krennic, which looks phenomenal. There is also Bodhi, Rook, and Pow. It was definitely hard to choose between the U-Wing and this set, but I think just the overall look and what comes in this set is just very great, and I really love the ship design. It's very sleek and intimidating. And it's kind of like the Inquisitor's Scythe as well, where LEGO did a really good job at getting the angles of the ship. Star Wars A New Hope is what started it all, and it has plenty of LEGO Star Wars sets. I chose the Ultimate Collector Series Star Destroyer. This is a phenomenal display model. I really love the way this Star Destroyer looks. Like the Venator, from pretty much every angle, it looks amazing. But this one looks menacing, especially from a front view. There is also an inclusion of a miniature Tantive 4, which you can actually dock under the Star Destroyer, just like in the movies. So I always love when LEGO includes, miniature ships to really show the size of, the big build. There's a lot of detail on this model. I really like the design on the turbo lasers. They look really good. This Star Destroyer just looks amazing, and I just can't say enough about it. It's just detailed, and it really just gets the look down. And it is a phenomenal display model. Up next is Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, which I chose the set, the Ultimate Collector Series AT-AT. This set is just phenomenal looking. The exterior looks amazing. And in addition to that, it also has a full interior. So I want to talk about the interior first. This set is pretty much minifigure scale, maybe not exactly, but it definitely is like right there. And this full interior can fit more than 40 snowtroopers, which is crazy and like so awesome. The interior also has space for 4 snowspeeders, 2 on each side. The minifigure lineup is perfect. Luke Skywalker also does come in the set. He's not in this picture, but the General Veers looks fantastic with the dual molded legs, 2 AT-AT drivers, and 5 total snowtroopers, with one of them being a snowtrooper commander. The exterior looks phenomenal. I really love the way that this AT-AT looks. There's a bunch of detail, and I really love the mix of tiles and plates, but mostly tiles to really give it a smooth exterior. The AT-AT is also pretty sturdy, even though it's like really big, and it stands on 4 pretty well built and designed legs. And there's actually a tool that LEGO has you build, and you use that tool to move the joints within the legs to pose them in different ways. It's actually a very cool feature. I think all around this set is just absolutely fantastic. There are some stickers, and that's never good to see within, a Ultimate Collector Series set, and there are a couple of instances where some different colors from like the inside of the build show a little bit, but other than that, I think this build is fantastic and is one of the best. I consider it the best LEGO Star Wars set because it is just phenomenal in every way. To end the original trilogy is Return of the Jedi. For this movie, I picked the Ultimate Collector Series Imperial Shuttle. This is a very accurate LEGO Star Wars build, and the ship just looks absolutely phenomenal. I love that you can display it in its landing position and its flying position, so a build this size still incorporates the wing functions, which is really awesome to see. The stand looks very good, able to display this in its flight mode. I know with the wings outstretched, it is probably a massive wingspan, but that's what you want to see from an Ultimate Collector Series scale, and this Imperial Shuttle just looks phenomenal. I love its sleekness and the design and techniques used to, make this build. It does come with a few minifigures, which is always good to see. The set did come out in 2010, and it still looks amazing to this day. Next up is the Mandalorian TV show, and I had to go with the Ultimate Collector Series Razor Crest. Like the UCS AT-AT, this Razor Crest is pretty close, if not minifigure scale. The Razor Crest looks absolutely phenomenal. On the outside, where the gold or yellow paint is, well, in the show it's more of a gold paint, but LEGO used yellow in this case. There are some stickers to match the yellow paint, but if stickers have a different color than the actual tile that they're trying to replicate, so it looks a little bit off, but it's nothing too major. And the rest of the build just looks fantastic. I really love how this Razor Crest is really tiled off. It's very smooth. There's, studs on top, but compared to other UCS sets, this one definitely is a lot more tiled. There is also a full interior within this Razor Crest, packed with Easter eggs, details from the TV show, and technically multiple levels too, with the cockpit leading down into the actual main rooms of the Razor Crest. Now everything is modular, so it's pretty easy to get into the interior, and you can use all the minifigures to play around with. Speaking of the minifigures, these are some pretty great ones. Probably the best Mandalorian minifigure that LEGO has released, with the helmet printing, which looks very good. I also like the inclusion of every door on the Razor Crest being able to be pulled down so you can have minifigures walk in and out. Overall, I think this set is just fantastic. Having the full interior and a really good looking exterior, it's just all around a well-rounded set. The Book of Boba Fett had 2 sets released. I chose Boba Fett's throne room. This is basically another Jabba's palace set. The actual set doesn't really resemble Jabba's palace, though there's probably like a theory behind that, but definitely going the flat roof doesn't look the greatest. The palace does have some good play features, like you can move the throne to knock off Bib Fortuna. You can also use some stairs to knock off minifigures as well, and of course the door at the front of the palace. The minifigures are pretty good too. It comes with quite a bit to really fill out this palace. There's never really a spot that feels empty. I think overall this set offers a lot of play for, you know, these minifigures, and the palace itself isn't bad. It's got some room for minifigures to play around with and stuff like that, but I don't think it is the best palace. Up next is the Ahsoka series. This show got 4 sets, and the one I chose is the Ghost. Now this is a massive upgrade than the previous Ghost. One, because it comes with the Phantom 2, so it's a complete look. Even though it is a more downscaled, but it fits the scale of what the Ghost is in, so it works. And the Ghost itself, both exterior and interiorly, is a massive upgrade than the previous. Now there's a pretty spacious interior that you can fit pretty much every minifigure in this set. There's plenty of space to like play around with, and the exterior, there's a bunch of detail, and I really love all the different color schemes and color accents that really makes the whole, you know, look nice. I really like the design of the Phantom 2 being in this smaller scale. It uses a lot of snot technique, so it looks very sleek and smooth, and I like how it fits perfectly on the back of the Ghost. The minifigure selection is not bad. Hera is definitely the best one. She's very detailed and accurate to her on-screen appearance. It's nice to get Chopper again, and it's very awesome to get Jason as well. The other 2 minifigures are pretty cool additions, kind of, they were in the Ahsoka series for a small part, but I would have maybe loved one more Rebels crew member in this one. But they did come in other sets. This is a really good set. I just really love the look of the Ghost, and including the Phantom 2 was most definitely the right choice because it actually makes the ship feel complete. And yeah, I really like this set. Next up is Star Wars: The Skeleton Crew, which is the most recent TV show to release. This show only got 1 set, which was the Onyx Cinder, and that is the main ship in the show. I think this set looks really good. It comes with pretty much every main character, the 4 kids, and Jah Nana Wood, so which is good to see, and I really do like the overall design of the ship and the detail. It also keeps all the functions in terms of like the engines rotating when it's landing and taking off. There is a pretty good interior that you can fit all the kids and Jod in. It is cool to get essentially a bigger pirate ship. I know LEGO had released the Pirate Snub Fighter from Mandalorian Season 3, but like to actually get a larger pirate ship is pretty cool to see, and you know, maybe in the future, you know, if Skeleton Crew gets a 2nd season or something, maybe we can get more. But I do really like the way the Onyx Cinder looks. I think it looks pretty accurate for being, you know, a play scale ship, and I really love its play features, and I'm glad that it comes with every major character. Star Wars Resistance is an animated TV show that took place before The Force Awakens but led into the events of the sequel trilogy. It only got 2 sets released, and the one I chose is Major Von Reg's TIE Fighter. I really like its red and black color scheme. I think it looks like a really good TIE, and the color scheme really just works. The minifigures look pretty good, coming with Major Von Reg, of course, General Leia, and I really like the hairpiece mold on Kaz. I think this is a pretty solid set, and it's pretty accurate to its on-screen appearance. Now it is time for the sequel trilogy, starting with The Force Awakens, which I have the Millennium Falcon, which came out in 2015. The Force Awakens had a pretty good lineup of sets like the First Order Transport or like the Resistance X-Wing or Poe's X-Wing, but ultimately I went with the Falcon just because of everything it offers. The Falcons always have a full playable interior, and this one has a pretty good one, coming with a bunch of stuff that you can play around with all the minifigures. It also does come with a pretty good minifigure lineup. The interior features multiple sections like beds, or of course the Dejarik table. I do not know if that's the exact pronunciation, but it also includes a bunch of seating for the characters to interact with. Overall, I think with everything that comes in the set, it's a pretty fun play experience, and of course, you know, the Millennium Falcon is such an iconic ship, so this one does do a really good job. After The Force Awakens came The Last Jedi. This is the most controversial Star Wars movie, and even though the movie may not be good, it did have a pretty good lineup of sets. The one I chose as the best is the First Order Star Destroyer. This is pretty much any other Star Destroyer playscale set that LEGO has released, just having the First Order Star Destroyer look. My first thoughts are, I think it looks great, though at the very front, I wish they got the kind of forward pointing like fin at the edge of the First Order Star Destroyers. It isn't quite the best represented here. Now, I do really like the interior. I like the detail and different sections of the ship that you can have some Imperial forces working on, like control panels and stuff like that, and I think it is pretty well built and one of the better Star Destroyer interiors. The minifigures are Snoke and some First Order troopers and officers. I would have left maybe one or two more officers and or stormtroopers just to add a little bit more First Order forces to the Star Destroyer. I think this Star Destroyer does get the look down of the First Order one, and I like the full interior and what you can do with it, and it definitely is a good set. And the last movie in the sequel trilogy, The Rise of Skywalker, which of course had the line, "Somehow Palpatine returned." Not a good movie, but it did get pretty good sets, with the best one being Kylo Ren's shuttle. I really do love the way that this build looks, and it is a massive upgrade from the Force Awakens Kylo Ren shuttle, pretty much in every way. It actually looks accurate to its on-screen appearance. I really don't know what LEGO was doing with that Force Awakens one. I mean, this build actually looks really phenomenal. I love the size of the ship and that the wings actually are accurate and do, kind of the wide angle in flight position. And I just really love that LEGO did manage to get the functions and look down of Kylo Ren's shuttle, and it being in this all black just makes it look very menacing. There is a small interior section with a couple of seats for Kylo Ren or other Knights of Ren to sit. Does come with good minifigures, of course, with Kylo Ren and a couple of the Knights of Ren with some extra Imperial forces, which is cool to see, and I just really do like Kylo Ren's shuttle. I mean, it does look very good, and this is a really good set. Anyways, that concludes the best LEGO set for every Star Wars movie and TV show. Like always, let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with anything. I always like hearing what you have to say. Anyways, definitely lightsaber slash that like button and subscribe. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.